Normally when a big three gets together, people love it. Even when the Nets got KD, Kyrie, and Harden, people called them the favorites, but not Bradley Beal and the Suns. The experts hate it.
Clear-cut title favorite if they were playing in the big three, but they're playing in the NBA. You need more than 4 guys on your freaking roster.
I just don't like the trade for Phoenix. How good is Bradley Beal? Are we sure he's that good?
Oh, a team that struggled with depth added another mid-range scorer. Did anyone watch them lose to Denver and think, you know what they need? Another #1 scoring option. No, they've got that covered with KD and Devin Booker. What Phoenix needs is depth and defense, the opposite of what they just got. Are they better than the Nuggets now? Of course not. So why did they do this? The reason people hate this deal is the new CBA. It will be impossible for the Suns to build around this team. When the new owner bought the team, he immediately traded for Durant thinking, no big deal, I'll pay whatever it takes. He saw the Nets have KD and Kyrie and just get James Harden. Or the Clippers, already stacked, just add Russell Westbrook. Well, none of that would be possible with these new rules. But what the Beal haters are missing is 2 main things. The first is how little the Suns had to spend. They sent Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, 4 second-round picks, and 2 pick swaps for Beal. What a horrible deal for the Wizards. Bradley Beal is a 3-time All-Star, just 29 years old. Normally a player like that gets a gigantic haul. Rudy Gobert got control of 6 first-round picks and players. Donovan Mitchell got 2 good young players and 5 firsts. So why did Washington get so little? Because Bradley Beal had a no-trade clause. He controlled where he went. The dumbest decision that front office could make. So the owner fired the GM who gave Beal a no-trade clause and told the new front office, look, you can totally rebuild if you want to. So several teams tried to trade for Bradley Beal. The Heat, Bucks, Kings, and Suns all had offers on the table, but they had to convince Beal. So the Suns said, you have the best chance to win with us. Whatever KD and Book said to Beal, he was happy joining their team. So people thinking that Bradley Beal will be upset as the #3 option now are wrong. Beal has a history of being a mature, likable teammate. He isn't a guy to pout when things don't go his way. There used to be a history of problems with John Wall in that locker room. It's pretty safe to say now, Wall was the problem. All these years of losing and bad GM moves in DC, we haven't heard a single complaint out of Bradley Beal. I think he's going to be a perfect 3rd star in Phoenix who is willing to change his game around KD and Book if he has to. Shams is reporting the Wizards actually had better offers on the table, but they were forced to take the Suns trade because Beal refused to go anywhere else. No one thought they could flip CP3 for Bradley Beal. It was a no-brainer. The second thing that people don't understand is the future. Yeah, it does not look too great for the Suns' long-term future, but they don't care about that. They have Kevin Durant on their team. He is almost 35 years old, a history of calf injuries, and a torn Achilles. They don't care about the long-term future. They are all in for next season. They are not a perfect team, I get that. But no one else won 2 games off the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. Now they add Bradley Beal for basically nothing. All these people are worrying about, oh, what will they look like in 3 years when the penalties really kick in? Phoenix doesn't care about 3 years from now. They only care about next season. Oh, and they don't have any more picks. What will they look like in 6 years without ever picking in the draft? That's what people also said about the Rockets back in the day, but all they had to do was flip James Harden, and they got back 7 firsts from Brooklyn. If all else fails, this entire experiment blows up, all they have to do is trade Devin Booker for a gigantic package to boost a rebuild overnight. Their future is actually not in trouble. The Suns did this because with KD, Book, and Deandre Ayton, they were close to these new CBA rules anyway. So they figured, screw it, let's just blow right past the new rules with Bradley Beal. He's not a perfect fit, of course, but getting a player like Beal for such a low price was never going to happen again. They had no choice. But people are right about their depth. What are they going to do? Well, there's actually one more insane trade that could happen. A report says the Suns are confident it will find a new home for Deandre Ayton, and that the new roster will feature at least 2 role players added in an Ayton deal. I am sorry, but dude has been a disaster from day one, and he needs a different team. The Suns look like idiots for taking Ayton over Luka in 2018, but it's only gotten worse. He was never good enough to be a number 2 for Devin Booker, and when he got demoted to number 3 behind Chris Paul, he caused problems. Ayton complained and he pouted. The worst was when he refused to go back into Game 7 against the Mavericks, got in a huge fight with Coach Monty Williams on the sideline. The big red flag is when ESPN asked Ayton to define success in the NBA, and he said, definitely getting to my second contract. That's my success. Look, some guys just don't love the game of basketball. They were just born to be 7 feet tall, and everyone said, hey, you should play basketball. And when they did, it brought them fame and money. But in the NBA, you need that killer mentality to be great. Ayton is surrounded by those kind of guys on his team, like Booker and KD. Right now, Ayton just doesn't fit. And I'm not saying that he is definitely that guy. He's only 25 years old, but his career so far looks pretty suspect. But the good news is he is still young, and he had success in their 2021 finals run. So a team with a need at center could trade 2 or 3 players that the Suns need for depth. Teams rumored to be interested are the Mavericks, the Bulls, the Hornets, the Pacers, and the Blazers. So the depth Phoenix could get back might be Tim Hardaway Jr. and Maxi Kleber from Dallas. Kleber is good on defense, which is key. DeMar DeRozan and Derek Jones, which makes no sense, so get the Bulls out of these rumors. Terry Rozier and Cody Martin, also trash, so forget them. Miles Turner and TJ McConnell, my favorite trade. And we know the Pacers had interest in DeAndre Ayton. And 3 players from Portland who are not very good. But outside of that trade, the Suns have to add players with the veterans minimum. These are like old guys who are chasing a ring in their final 2 or 3 years in the league. In the past, stacked teams could attract these guys, like the Warriors getting David West in 2017, who won 2 chips with them. LeBron's Cavaliers could get like Mike Miller, Richard Jefferson, James Jones. I think Phoenix will be one of these teams who easily gets these older, good players. It's a great place to live in the winter, and everyone loves playing with Kevin Durant. He can call up any vet and say, I need your help, come join me for a year or 2 and get a ring. It already worked with Bradley Beal, but the Heat really missed out on Beal. At this point, they need to either add that last guard who's going to put them over the top, or start a rebuild, because what they have right now is not good enough. So they have to go all in on Damian Lillard, but the way that they actually get there is pretty tricky. Check it out.